Okay, today we're playing a game on Ilios. We were in the Platinum SR range, and we will be playing Zenyatta the entire way through. And our current team composition is Diva, Winston, Widowmaker, Symmetra, Zenyatta, and Mercy. So, We'd rather not, but unfortunately sometimes life is difficult, and it's what you have. At least this is Ruins, which is one of the better Widowmaker maps in the game, really, but definitely for Ilios as well. So there's that, but we'd rather not. So in the accompanying email, we have a question. I felt I did pretty decent in this game, however, the recurring theme of mediocre Transcendence use continues to haunt me. I still have a hard time deciding when to save Transcendence to counter an offensive ultimate or when to use it to spike heal critical teammates. Any tips on this dilemma would be appreciated. So if the enemy team have Graviton, Dragon Blade, you might also want to include Tac Visor or Barrage, then you need a really good reason to not use Transcendence for those ultimates. Because if they use Graviton or Dragon Blade, Tac Visor, what have you, and you don't have Transcendence, you probably lose that team fight, because those are some of the best ults in the entire game. So you need a really good reason to not use it for those ults if you have it, because basically it's like my tank and my other healer are gonna die if I don't use it right now, so I'm gonna use it, because otherwise we'll lose the objective or what have you. And I'll just hope I get another Transcendence before she gets another Graviton or he gets another Dragon Blade, because you probably just lose the team fights where they have those ultimates, because they are very strong ultimates and they're meant to win the team fight. So if you don't have Trans, you'll be very upset about it. Sometimes it's worth using for, well, I mean, a lot of offensive ultimates it's worth using for. If they've got a Reinhardt, for example, even Transcendence does still counter Earth Shatter, because you can, even if you're in line of sight, you can react to the Earth Shatter, use Transcendence, and then because you're invulnerable, you can block the pin for the person he charges at, and then nobody dies to the Earth Shatter. So like it just counters so many offensive ultimates that it really, Transcendence is meant to be used to counter them. If you have to use Transcendence for not an offensive ultimate, something is already probably going very badly at that point. Because, like, why are people in critical health if they aren't using ultimates right now, right? Like, that's just how Overwatch is. It's like, really, if they're in critical, it's probably because they use their ults, and if they're in critical anyway, something's already probably going pretty badly. So it might still just be better off saving it to use for the offensive ultimate, because it just, you can make so many heroes sad with Transcendence. So the basic gist is, if they have really big offensive ultimates, you need a very good reason to not to use Transcendence for something other than them. Because that's what Transcendence is for. It counters those ultimates and just make Dragon Blade, no. Earth Shatter, no. Graviton, no. Don't care. Not concerned about it at all. Sometimes you'll feel forced to use it for yourself as well, because like you don't want to die, basically, and there's the line of thought that if you're gonna die, you might as well use Transcendence, because if they see that you died and you didn't use Transcendence, they're probably just going to immediately use those ultimates and kill the rest of the team while you're 5v6. Whereas if you use Transcendence, maybe to save yourself, maybe you have better chances of winning the fight than if you just died with Transcendence, because you probably won't get back to use it again. But at that point, that's starting to go quite deep into it, because just because you're gonna die doesn't necessarily mean your team's gonna lose the fight. So there's weird things that go into that as well. It's complicated, alright? It's complicated. The basic gist is, try to save it for the offensive ultimates. If you're going to use it for not the offensive ultimates, make sure you have a very good reason for doing so. So now that catastrophe is over. Let's just start the game. By the way, D.Va's an annoying motherfucker in this game. And, like, I knew she would be before the game even started. Or he would be. It's a he. I say she because he's playing D.Va. But, like, it's a he. And I knew he was going to be before the game even started. Because, first off, his name is spelled like this, right? Like, why are you that way? Why do you feel the need to write your name like that? That just tells me you're a cunt before anything's even happened. And then he doubled down on that as well, right? Like, by being an annoying motherfucker, right? Yeah, he was calling someone a faggot before the game even started, so that's how you know that he's a really quality teammate. But, yeah, so he's an annoying motherfucker. So, we're attacking Ruins with a slightly less than ideal team comp. Could have put Discord Orb on someone over there. Like, you might as well, if it's not on anyone, you might as well just throw it on the first person you get the opportunity to throw it on. Because it's better on somebody than on nobody. Also, our Harmony Orb is currently on no one. It's on someone now. Okay. Oh, wow. You should just change it over to D.Va right here, because D.Va has overextended, and granted, she's getting chewed into by Symmetra, so she's not having a good time regardless, but at that point, it's like, put the Discord Orb on D.Va so that she, like, definitely loses her mech. So as you can see, miraculously enough, this fight went very well. It went very well. And we've actually captured the checkpoint. Isn't it incredible what can happen? It just goes to show that no matter how bad your team is, the enemy team can always be worse. My team is the actual worst in the world. No, 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 no. You don't understand. They can always be worse. So, now that we've gotten the control of the objective, it's very easy for us to just sit very far back and throw orbs at people. You know, play Zenyatta, basically. I don't really like to stand this far up, because Zenyatta, like, ideally on Ruins, you never go on the objective, because the objective itself is mad scary to stand on, because it's literally a box surrounded by a box, right? Same as Sanctum. You don't never really want to be standing on the objective in Sanctum if you can possibly avoid it, but... So, like, ideally, we're standing more, like, up here. But, even if I can come and stand in, these locations, I don't like to, because if I have to run away, I've got to go, like, oh, God, so far back. I like to just hang out on these areas if I'm a long-range hero. Because it's just very hard for you to die. And Zenyatta is that way, where he has no fall-off on his weapon, so his effective range is very fucking far. That's the exact measurement, by the way. That's the empirical number. Very fucking. So, now we're standing on the objective. I'd rather we weren't. I'd rather we were standing on the rim, because the objective on Ruins is the scariest place to stand, as is often the case on a King of the Hill map. We do just back up. Starting to get dove, because, I mean, we have a Widowmaker and a Symmetra, so of course they now have a Winston. But they're more concerned with those people than us, so we can just kind of slide away. So, we've got Transcendence built up. D.Va and Winston have staggered themselves quite hard. And Reinhardt's going in right as the other two tanks on their team died. So, he even used Earth Shatter for that one. That was a very bad use of company resources. Because now he's dead, and he doesn't have his ultimate. Which he had built up relatively fast, all things considered. Hold up, back up. What was their team comp? Because it's changed a bit since we last saw them. So they now have 2 divers, Widowmaker, and Mei. So that's quite scary for us as Zenyatta, because they've got a Widowmaker and 2 dive tanks. Now, granted, the 2 dive tanks... I think I'm dying, Jesus. The 2 dive tanks will be more concerned with Widowmaker and Symmetra than with us, but their Widowmaker is very scary. This is not a good time to use Transcendence. We were probably afraid we were going to die to the self-destruct, because it does come on, like, pretty close, but this is why we should just not be on the objective, right? Like, this is why we should just be on the rim. But Transcendence doesn't really do much for self-destruct. At the same time, they don't have any threatening ultimates for us to be afraid of. The biggest threatening ultimate for them right now is May, but they literally just changed to May, so they're not about to have Blizzard up anytime soon. Now, we do start losing people during this fight. We didn't use Transcendence super well, so, you know, it's possible the outcome might have been different if we used it a little bit better, but, yeah. Oh no, oh, she could have totally killed us. She didn't know. Okay, she didn't know. The way the fight went, I rather doubt it. I feel like we weren't going to win that one anyway. We almost have Transcendence built up again, so that's cool. This is the thing with healers, right? They build their ultimates very quickly. Some motherfucker always needs healing, and Zenyatta can always be doing damage because he has a very long effective range. Now, that is the enemy Mei directly next to us, correct? Don't stay here. Don't stay here when Mei's right there. Because Mei's right there. She died. We're unfathomably lucky. We should have died. We saw her right there, and we elected to stay in the hallway adjacent to Mei. That's not recommended. We should have just left and gone somewhere else. But we didn't get punished, so we don't have to learn. So, now, because their team comp is overwhelmingly terrible also, we get to capture the checkpoint. They don't even have the benefit of having Widowmaker and a damaging DPS, because their other DPS is Mei. Say what you will, Symmetra, when she locks onto someone, does a lot of damage, right? And just, like, throwing the orbs is quite threatening. Did you see the post on the Blizzard forums that Jeff Goodman posted that was teasing Symmetra's next rework? It was the end of game card for Symmetra, and it said 39 allies teleported, 6% teleporter uptime. What the fuck's going on over there? I have to imagine that there's some kind of, like, the teleporter has to be more freely usable, right? So, perhaps closer to how it is with the engineer in TF2. It's very strange to me, though, because the Overwatch maps are not that big, so, it's hard for me to imagine Symmetra having a teleporter that is that helpful, really, because, like, really, the only use it has on a map is just to get back from spawn quicker, so, I mean, it's very puzzling. There are some maps where you would perhaps want it to teleport you up to the high ground, I suppose, like, Gibraltar. But, yeah, that's a strange one. Can you believe Symmetra is lined up for a second rework when the game is only 2 years old? Oh, this is hopeful. I hope that this is just what happens. We rework Symmetra every year. She's just a completely different hero every time. Wouldn't that be great? She does probably need one. I mean, this is a whole thing with defense heroes where just, like, the way the game is makes it very difficult for heroes like Symmetra, Torbjorn, and Bastion to really have a place. Bastion does okay because he at least can pick himself up and move relatively freely. He's still fairly immobile, but, like, Torbjorn and Symmetra, they're always going to have trouble, especially since they're so easily countered, right? Like, half the time if a Torbjorn wins, it's not necessarily because Torbjorn himself played really well, it's because the enemy team played really badly, right? It's, I struggle to see what they're going to do to Symmetra or Torbjorn, but I mean, we'll see how it works out. Hanzo, I'm relatively hopeful for, but we'll see. We'll see how that one turns out. So, we are now attacking Lighthouse. Elevator music was playing in my mind. Don't worry about it. So this is probably the scariest map to play Zenyatta on, because there aren't great places to stand, really. Because we still don't really want to stand on the objective if at all possible, but the way this map is, you have to, basically. We aren't fast enough to get to the high ground behind us that quickly. So I'm noticing that Mercy fell off the map, and I kind of thought she might, based off of what's happening right there. But, like, she should have been able to get back on. So that's, maybe she thought she would rather die to the pit than die to May or something. So we should put the Discord orb on Mercy right there, because Mercy is a higher priority target than Reinhardt is. Now, there is the argument that Discord is best used on tanks because it makes tanks very soft. I don't subscribe to that train of thought, because I would rather make someone who is already soft like Mercy even softer, so that they're just that much easier to kill. Especially since, like, D.Va and Winston are definitely going to try and kill Mercy before they try and kill Reinhardt. So we've also slowly been trending towards the objective, and that's scary, because that's where the enemy team is. We as Zenyatta do want to be quite far away from people. Because once they get up to us, we're pretty fucked. It's just how Zenyatta is, so just try to stay further away from the objective, basically. Like, around that hallway is great if you can stay there, because there's also, like, the large health kit behind you if you need it. This map can be awkward for someone like Zenyatta, though. So Reinhardt did that. He killed Symmetra, but he died. It wasn't really worth it, because our Mercy can just res Symmetra, because she died in, like, a pretty convenient place to get rezzed. Now, their Mercy also rezzed Reinhardt, miraculously, and Reinhardt's killed Symmetra again. How poetic. Mercy, however, is dead. Now, their Reinhardt is behind us, so that's worth remembering as we go about this fight. This is a fair enough time to use Transcendence, because we have momentum, we don't want Winston to die, and they don't have really very many ultimates to be worth saving Transcendence for. The only one, again, is Blizzard. But also, our team is quite mobile for the most part. They should be able to kind of get out of it. Now, we, however, are fucked. Winston's thrown himself off the map also, so that's wonderful, isn't it? Now, here's the thing with Transcendence as well. Now, it's very unfortunate that we come out of this in Blizzard. So, you know, May decided to wait until this was done and then use Blizzard, which is the correct play. This is why using Transcendence early is also scary, because as soon as it ends, they can just go, Dragon Blade, right? Graviton, let's go. Here's the thing, though. As Transcendence is running out, you want to try and move yourself back. Because you don't want to cut, this is a very common mistake, you don't want to come out of Transcendence in front of the enemy team. Because you're invulnerable right now, that's great, you can be as close as you want. When you come out, you're just little squishy Zenyatta again. So, as Transcendence is running out, you want to try and reposition backwards. And yeah, it means you're going to waste like a second duration on Transcendence. You not dying right as Transcendence ends is usually worth that. So try not to come out of Transcendence like right in the middle of the fight, because you're gonna die. You have been drawing a lot of aggro because they're like, this fucking disco ball just won't let anyone die. So they're angry at you. So if you come out of Transcendence right in front of the entire enemy team, they're gonna kill you. So, now, our team is regrouped together. They used a few ultimates on that last team fight, so we've got a decent chance of capturing the checkpoint. There, Reinhardt just completely wasted his Earth Shatter because Winston put the bubble down. Again, we have Discord on Reinhardt. I would rather put it on a squishier target still, because, you know, there's the argument it's best on tanks, but I just want that Mercy fucking dead, you know, or that DPS fucking dead. I'd rather they die in like half as many shots. So McCree is not there. McCree's there now. He didn't die. Hooray. So now we've got control of the objective. That's great. is again a little scary for Zenyatta, because we don't really want to stand on the objective still. Like, we'd rather be standing closer to, like, our doorway, basically, because, well, more like closer to, like, the bit at the bottom, like the bottom of the staircase. You get the idea. Because standing on the objective is, again, still very scary, and think about how far you've got to go if you want to get to safety. This is not really safety, because we're right next to an edge, so it's not very safe. It's not a great map. You know, like, if only it was slightly easier to get up onto these balconies, right? Because then this would be the greatest Zenyatta map of all time, but it's a little too cumbersome for Zenyatta to get there, sadly. So we have Transcendence built up, that's cool. Team fight is going quite well, all things considered. Symmetra died right there. Who was Harmony on? D.Va? D.Va's good, right? Like we were using our right click. I see. There's no need to use your right click right there, because you can already see everybody, right? Like, it's not like you're gonna peek, so nobody's about to peek a corner and get one shot by you, right? So I would rather we were just left-clicking in the middle of the team fight, because then we could just put the Harmony Orb on Symmetra faster. And by faster, I mean before she died. Now, granted, the position she was in, she probably died regardless, but some chance is better than no chance. So, here we go. Zarya's sad, and that's why we play Zenyatta. Now, unfortunately, it didn't matter. So, it didn't matter. It's all we can do, right? It's all you can do. You say to yourself, alright, he's using Graviton, I'm gonna use Transcendence. And then if you die at the end of that, your whole team still dies. It wasn't meant to be. All you can do is your best, and sometimes your best is not good enough. I don't think we get back. No, we don't get back. It's unfortunate. It happens, sadly. All you can do. We used Trans on the Graviton. It just wasn't enough. Farah, of course, waited to the end of it and then was like, Barrage now. Only killed one person, but things, it's not a great start to the team fight. So, now we're on Well. Well is a nice, straightforward map for Zenyatta, but you do have to be aware of the periphery, because there's a lot of places to be flanked on. Now, you might notice that Mercy has changed to Tracer. It's because we also have a Lucio now. Now, basically now we have a dive comp, right? We have an old school dive comp now. Which is fine. I've no issue. Now, I would have put the Discord Orb on the Mei, because Mei, I want her dead, right? Like, she's half a tank. You know, so there goes D.Va. So that's a good start. Mei is dead now. Discord Orb currently on no one, which is bad. Now it's on Mercy, which is good. That's someone. And it's Mercy, who is a good person to be on. Mercy's dead now, so Discord Orb is now on no one. So Lucio is running around next to us at critical health. Right there, he just dropped into critical. Now he's critical right next to us. We should put the Harmony Orb on him, because we don't want the other healer to die. Now Winston is in critical health. It's alright, he's jumped out. We can't see him anymore, so Harmony's fallen off. D.Va's being very productive, as we can all see. Immediately back in the pit again. So we have Transcendence built up during the first team fight. She built up Graviton during the first team fight. Can you believe that? Like, look, this is a marquee event right here. Fucking very first team fight still happening. Graviton, Transcendence, and Sound Barrier were used. It's unfortunate that Lucio used Sound Barrier at the same time. Transcendence and Sound Barrier are the two worst ults to layer on top of each other, but what can you do? Both of us were like, I'd rather not die in Graviton, so I'll just use my ultimate. You know, unfortunate. Sound Barrier isn't even that good in Graviton, honestly. Like, Transcendence is like, yeah, they're not going to kill me in the Graviton unless they have Pulse Bomb. Sound Barrier, it's like, decent chance we still die in the Graviton, because the Sound Barrier isn't that good as a defensive ultimate. It's one of the best ones we got, but, like, it's no Transcendence. So, Winston died all the way over there, which is not very helpful. D.Va's zoned some people off. Our Reaper has gone and killed Roadhog, so this evens out in the end. Lucio's dead, so we're now the only healer is Zenyatta. That's very scary. Half their team is already dead, though, so things are going well. Now, some of our team are using their ultimates over there. They probably didn't need to, because only half of their team was still alive. It looks like we basically used 2 ultimates to kill D.Va. And he also just used Deadeye as well, so we just used a lot of ultimates on a team fight that it looked like we were going to win regardless. So now the fear is that they come at us with like 4 ultimates and just win the fight. We do at least have Transcendence, so that's cool, but Winston just died, so that's obviously very uncool. That's not very fond of him. So, D.Va's gone over and lost her mech immediately, and now D.Va's dead. We've lost both of our tanks. At this point, doesn't matter what happens, I'm not using Transcendence, because we've just lost this team fight. Winston's gotten back in time to probably stagger himself, because this, you know, like, half of our team is still not here. Oh, McCree making it difficult, there we go. Winston over here, low health, oh god, scary, scary. Like, I understand why we used it, and, like, I would have thought about it. I would have definitely thought about it. Not here. I would have thought about it when I saw Winston that low. Because at this point, our team is actually regrouped. So, like, losing Winston right now would be really bad. But here's why I would hesitate to do it. Their Zarya is probably really close to having Graviton. Because she used it right at the start of the round, or the very first team fight. We've had a few fights since then, right? And, oh look, she has Graviton. Now, we know, with the benefit of hindsight, it didn't matter, because all us using Transcendence right there would have done is make us survive, and nobody else. So, unfortunately, it didn't matter. But she did have Graviton, and that's why I would have hesitated to use it, because she must be getting close to having Graviton again by that point, since we know exactly when she used it. And she did. We would have died regardless, but she did definitely have Transcendence, so that could have mattered in another world. So a lot of ultimates are happening around us. This is fine. Like, we're gonna lose this team fight. That's fine. They used several ultimates. They used Coalescence, Tac Visor, and Meteor Strike. So, and they just used Self-Destructing Graviton prior to that. So they have no ultimates right now, which is great news for us, right? Because now we're going to have the ult advantage on them. They just used all of those ultimates. We're going to build up our ultimates before they build their ultimates up. Unless something truly catastrophic happens. Like, you know, that. Now he's dead as well. So I guess we'll be waiting now. Both our DPS or one of our DPS and one of our tanks is dead. So we'll be waiting now for the next team fight. As you can see, McCree is trying very hard to stagger himself right now, and he is damn well succeeding so far. He is scraped away with 1 hit point. Lucio is going in right now with the rest of the team. We didn't get the sound barrier. That's very unfortunate, but we've almost got Transcendence built up, so it's not the end of the world. Now, she's got Coalescence again. We decide to use Trance here to make sure Winston doesn't die. Graviton takes a long time to charge unless the Zarya is walking around at 100% charge the whole time, so it's probably fine to use it right there, seeing as we saw her use it not that long ago, and we win the fight. We probably didn't need to use it just for Winston, but I mean, at the same time, the only thing worth saving it for on their team is Tac Visor and Graviton. He just used Tac Visor, he doesn't have that. Graviton, she probably doesn't have already. Back up again, so it's fine to use it right there. That's fair enough that that's play of the game. So there's one other thing for us to see before we move on. Wait for it. Wait. Hold on. Could have pushed forward again. Hey, congratulations. Yeah. For some reason, I just totally read the 8 as a 0. I was like, oh, diamond exactly. No, not quite diamond exactly, but congratulations getting into diamond. It doesn't get any better in there. Just so that you know ahead of time, it's not going to get any better, but congratulations on getting to diamond all the same. It was a career high, in fact, as well, so congratulations. Now let's look at this stuff. I see, yes. Uh-huh. Right, yes, yes. I'm not that, I think it's because I watched an Elon Musk interview once upon a time. Yes. Billy Mitchell got all of his, just today I saw this, Billy Mitchell got all of his records taken out of the Guinness Book of World Records as well, so there is some justice in the world. Hooray. And so now he and Steve Wiebe have lost all of their records, which there is some justice in the world. I see. Okay, enough looking at that nonsense. So, basically, yeah, Transcendence use was probably the worst thing about the game. Aside from focusing on Transcendence, what other some other areas of the gameplay I should focus on myself to improve further? Positioning, we could have been safer. Zenyatta's a very easy boy to kill, so positioning is very important. Positioning is most important for Zenyatta than any other support hero, really, because he is the most punishing. Because if he's out of position, there's no way he gets out of it, right? You could argue Ana's worse, but Ana's cooldowns help her survive, right? Zenyatta's only recourse is to kill the person trying to kill him. So positioning is the most crucial on Zenyatta. It could be safer, you know. Try not to stand on the objective. The objective is usually the scariest place to stand. Especially on King of the Hill maps, because it tends to be a box with another box around it, right? So it's very scary to stand on. Gotta be safe as Zenyatta. Dying is very bad, as always. But that and Transcendence were like the two biggest things, basically, yeah. And, you know, when Transcendence is ending, try not to be in front of the entire enemy team when it ends, and, you know, blah, 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 blah. So thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you felt I answered your question from the email inadequately, please let me know, and I will try to expand further. And I hope you found the video helpful.